don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey, what's up, how are you doing? Hope you are doing great. Jasmine, I'm going to apologize straight off in this big video if you can hear a bit of background noise of a baby. It's my child. She's being very clingy today and she's not letting me put her in her room. You're gonna hear a lot of babbling in this video, apologies. Since I have had my little girl, we've done a lot of traveling. I mean, we left the UK to come to Nigeria, and then even within Nigeria, we've done a few road trips. We've done a few local flights. If I tell you how many places we have taken this girl to, it is ridiculous. So in today's video, I am literally just going to be giving you tips on what I have learned in terms of traveling with a baby and things that you can avoid, things not to do. Basically just sharing lessons. Jasmine, in terms of traveling with a newborn. I was really hoping that she would fall asleep, guys. I was hoping, I was praying, but my prayers were not answered. Shh. I'll take you next door. I feel like as a new mom, it can be a little bit daunting. You don't realize how much actually goes into traveling with a newborn. At the time when I traveled from the UK to Nigeria with her, she was 2 months and about 7 days. Yeah, she was 2 months and about 7 days. And yeah, it was really daunting and I was really scared. So I ended up begging my mom to come to Nigeria with me just so that I would, you know, have a bit of extra help, because guys, I was really nervous. So if you are interested in the lessons or tips or hints or whatever I have learned in terms of traveling with a newborn / baby, then keep on watching. So the first thing that I'm going to give you is to make sure that you plan ahead. From the day I had Jasmine and I knew that I was traveling to Nigeria when she was 2 months, I started planning around the airline. I made sure to tell them that I was going to be traveling with a baby. I paid the extra cost in terms of traveling with a baby. When you're flying with a baby, the airline tends to charge a percentage of the adult fare. It's also a good thing to inform the airline that you're going to be traveling with a baby, just so they can make any extra arrangements with you. If you're traveling by flight, remember that every airline has their own minimum age of flight travel. So just make sure to call them and confirm that, you know, your child is actually able to be on that flight before you book your ticket. If you plan well in advance, you might be able to get the front row seat that allows you a lot more leg room and allows you just to handle your baby better, and you're not like squished in the other rows on the flight. With me, I've changed my flight ticket quite a lot. By the time I finally decided what flight I was going to go on and on what day, I didn't end up getting like the front row seats on the plane. I ended up being in the middle and it wasn't too squashed. I mean, we traveled by, was it Virgin? We've traveled by Virgin Atlantic and it wasn't too squashed, but I mean, if I had sat in the front rows right at the front, it would have allowed more room for me and her. And it's also important to make sure that you plan ahead in terms of passport and application for visa. With her, I had to apply for her passport, so I made sure to do that as soon as possible. And in terms of applying for a passport for a newborn, you need a birth certificate, and if you're going somewhere that requires you to get a visa, you will need a visa as well. In the UK, they give you 28 days from the day that you have your baby to register the birth of your baby. So I made sure that as soon as I was able to get the birth certificate, I applied for a passport just so I had it. And also because I had to apply for a visa for her to come to Nigeria. Application for a Nigerian visa as a British passport holder, guys, is really expensive. I didn't realize how expensive it was, but I was kind of forced to do that because at the point when I was coming back to Nigeria, applying for a Nigerian passport for her was going to take about 3 months, and I just didn't have that time. So I ended up applying for a Nigerian visa for her, and it was mad expensive. So just make sure you plan ahead in terms of having your documents, be it a passport or a visa if you are flying. And obviously, if you're going by road, that's not really necessary. You don't really need that. And if you're going by a local flights in Nigeria, you don't need ID for the baby. They just literally want to see the baby. They actually just want to know that you have a baby and that the ticket that you have bought is actually for a baby and not a toddler or a grown person. But if you're going internationally, if you're flying abroad or you're going outside of the country, just make sure that you have your passport and you have a visa. Another thing that is important, especially if you're flying, is just to know what your airline offers in terms of baggage allowance, in terms of what they allow on the flight, if you're allowed a car seat, if you're allowed a stroller, if there's somewhere where you can change your baby on the flight. Do they have like heating facilities if you need to warm up your baby's milk? So just know what your airline offers. I was really lucky because I was breastfeeding her, so I didn't really have to think about milk. As long as they had the ability for me to just whip out my breast and feed her on the flight, I was good. But if you're bottle feeding, find out like how much milk you're actually allowed to carry through security, because knowing that ahead of time will put your mind at ease and will allow you to travel a bit more comfortable and less anxious. If you're going by road, this really doesn't apply because you can pack as much as you want in your car. Make sure that you pack enough for your child, you have enough diapers, make sure you have enough formula for the journey. I was lucky because I had my mom, but my plan when I was planning on traveling just by myself was to just have a diaper bag as my carry-on. I literally just packed my Nivea lip balm. I threw that in her diaper bag and I filled her diaper bag with extra clothes, lots and lots of diapers, and lots of wipes and lots of disposable nappy bags, just because I wasn't sure if she was gonna have a day where she was gonna shit like 25,000 times. 25,000 times. I was kind of prepared. I make sure that I add extra change of clothes for her. Now this applies whether you're going by road, by air, by sea, whatever mode of transportation you're using. Just make sure that you pack extra wipes, extra diapers, extra of everything that you need for your child. I packed like an extra top for myself just in case we had an accident on the flight or during the journey. I had something I could change to, so I didn't end up looking like a tramp on getting to my destination. If your child has like a favorite blanket, just take that along with you because it will be very comforting. It will give them a sense of home. I have a child that doesn't really care. As long as you can feed her, she's fine. So I ended up not having to do that, but I will definitely recommend that. And I will recommend, guys, if you are breastfeeding and bottle feeding your child, just plan to breastfeed during your journey. It makes things a lot easier. I remember when we did a road trip from Anambra all the way to Abuja, it took us 13 hours, guys, and I found that it was really easy to just breastfeed her in the car rather than having a bottle, because then you have to make the milk, make sure your water is the right temperature, especially when you're doing such a long journey. You need to, it's just easier, just bring the breast, put it in her mouth, she eats and she moves on. So if you're someone that, you know, you're doing both, I highly recommend just breastfeeding. The beauty about flying actually is that you get the extra seatbelt to attach her to yourself, so you can actually fall asleep without the fear that she will fall off. If you plan ahead, they can put you in the front row and you can tell them that you want a bassinet, because with most airlines they actually say it's first come first serve. So if you plan well ahead, you might be able to get one. And the most important thing is that if your baby cries, just try not to be stressed. Try to remain calm. The thing is, children can read when you're stressed. They can read your emotions. So if you are flying and she starts to cry and she starts to get uncomfortable or she starts to get fussy, just concentrate on yourself and your baby. Forget about any other person on the flight. If anyone has something to say, that's their business. Don't look at their face. Don't even pay them attention. Just focus on your stress level and on your child. If you're really lucky, you might sit next to someone that will offer to, you know, hold your baby for you to give you a bit of a break. The more stressed you are, the more stressed your baby will be. Also, be prepared for advice that you don't want or you did not ask for. I feel like it's just Nigerians, but I want to say it's not. I had at least 10 people give me advice, comment, say something, have something to say whenever I am traveling with my baby. Every time I travel on a flight with Jasmine, someone always has something to say. I just want to tell them that can you just keep it to yourself? Be prepared for unsolicited advice when you are traveling with a baby. You will get people that will screw face. You might be unlucky that you sit next to someone that will give you a bit of attitude and make you feel like you shouldn't be on a flight because you have a baby, or they will give you attitude because they feel like your baby is gonna just shout and scream throughout the entire journey. Like I said, don't look at them, don't even pay them any attention, just focus on you and your baby. I actually had one lady actually tell me one time when I sat next to her, she was giving me a bit of attitude, and I knew the reason she was doing it was because she thought that Jasmine was gonna cry throughout the entire journey. And luckily enough, I have a very good baby that didn't cry, that didn't fuss throughout the flight. And as we were getting off, she was like, it's good that she did not cry. And you have a baby that does not cry. That's good. I thought she was going to disturb me the entire flight. I just looked at her like, and I just said, and walked off. So that is all my tips in terms of traveling with a newborn. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell another friend to check out my channel. I will speak to you guys in my next video.